Welcome to the 18th Century Fox News Show. Today we have Madame Giselle Begun to tell us all the latest.
Thank you for having me.
Today we would like to discuss life in France.
Well, after the revolution, there was a fairly large gap between the rich and the poor classes.
And by gap you mean?
In the poorer parts of France, disease plagued the poor. Prostitutes and beggars lined the streets. Poverty was everywhere.
And the upper class?
The wealthiest nobles controlled the areas they lived in. Their houses were much more fashionable. They had everything they needed.
And how would you say a middle class exists?
They were divided amongst themselves. The nobility made up the upper class, and they prospered. The lower middle class resented them for this. It was horrible.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, there seems to be breaking news in southern Russia. A rebellion has broken out by the serfs, and here's Kelsey Collins with the latest story.
Thank you, Jada. I am here live at the site of this revolt from recent sources. It seems that Milyan Pugashev is the leader of this rebellion. Oh, I think it's the serfs running by now. It is known that Pugashev has promised the serfs land of their own and freedom from their landlords. This is the leading cause of the rebellion because local landlords here have almost complete control over their serfs. There is little difference between serfdom and slavery here in Russia. Alright,
I'm Jada Lissman.
And I'm Andrew DeLuca.
As of recently, there seems to have been a large increase in populations throughout Europe.
Well, Jada, this is true. London's population has grew from 700,000 to a whopping 1 million.
Wow.
Berlin's population tripled and Warsaw's population quadrupled.
This is all a result of the recent urbanization and growth in both towns and cities.
Along with the urbanization came a society in which a deep-rooted segregation between upper and lower classes had begun to form.
In these towns, there was much poverty. There was rarely any pure water, and public executions have become frequent events.
It seems that riots have also become popular throughout many cities. People rioted in the name of religion, politics, and the most violent were over property rather than individuals.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Please stay tuned for the following sponsored segments.
MTV Cribs is brought to you by Stevia's Butcher Shop. For all your meat needs, come and get it.
Bienvenue, Sir Montpellier. Just kidding, LOL. This is the Palace of Versailles. It consists of 400,000 nobles in two groups. Nobles of swords who became nobles due to military service, and nobles of the robe who gained their titles by service in the bureaucracy or buying their titles. The best part of it is that we don't have to pay taxes.
Welcome to my townhouse where us nobles have been living for quite some time. It consists of over 400 families from all over England. We own about 1/4 of the fertile land in England and enjoy to invest in commerce. Us English nobles are the best nobles around. Come see our house.
Hey, you, over there. No one ever cares about us. So, we're the Russian nobles. We just came about in the late 18th century because of the table of ranks. We're very self-conscious because we just came about. We're brand new, you know. So, our privileges are that we get to transport the nobleman's wife and children, and that we get to protect the nobles' rights and land. But our best privilege is that we have full control over the serfs. Bam! Okay.
We'll be back with the news soon, but first, here's a message from our sponsors.
Hello. Please, don't change the channel. Have you ever wanted to chop someone's head off with no complications? Well, here's your solution. The guillotine. Invented during the later years of the 18th century, this will quickly and sufficiently chop off anyone's head. Are you tired of your executioner chopping and chopping? Well, the guillotine's your answer. Go buy this killing machine.
And now we're back with Aziz giving us the latest on family structure in Europe.
Welcome to the motherland. Today we shall discuss the family styles in northwestern Europe and Russia. In Russia, households competed of more than 9 and sometimes even 20 people. Both men and women married before the age of 20. Often, the wife was older than the husband. The landlords made sure that the serfs marry on their land to keep a strong labor force. By the way, you two are getting married right now. In terms of economy, Russia functioned in the context of serfdom and landlord dominance. Dependence on the available land was the chief fact of life. Man, it's cold out here.
Welcome to the warmer side of Europe. Households consisted of 5 to 6 members. Children lived with their parents until their early teens when they would find work as servants and live in their master's home. Under the exception A child of a skilled artisan may stay at home to learn a valuable skill. Young people relatively married at the age of 26, men, and 23, women. Premarital sex was common. A servant would work for 8 to 10 years, which gave them the opportunity to save their wages to start their own households. In terms of economy, almost everyone was part of a household in pre-industrial Europe, as it was difficult to survive on your own, and those who did it were considered suspicious. In terms of a skilled artisan, they would stay home, and the father would train their eldest son in their craft. If the father died, the widow would take care of the family business and would sought to marry as soon as possible.
Hello, I'm Benjamin Whitworth, and I'm an English noble. When questioned about my style, I say it depends on what I am scheduled to do that day. Most of the time, my clothes are quite elegant because I love living a luxurious lifestyle. I love living in London because it happens to be the fashion center of the world. My fellow nobles and I enjoy shopping and finding new clothes to wear. My favorite find in London was a long, elegant white dress for my wife Petunia. Being a Londonista to me is more than being fashionable. It is being able to dress in a posh way and express myself. I am the definition of a Londonista.
Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. We are now live in the field with the serfs and the landlords.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry, I'm talking to you people.
Please, my family's starving and we don't have any food.
Well, why don't you just go to the market?
Because ever since population grew, food has grown in such a higher price that we can't afford it.
Well, it benefits us landlords. You poor folks just have to deal with it, or just grow new crops.
But you could at least use turnips to help grow and replenish crops faster.
Okay, good luck.
These turnips that I'm growing have helped replenish the soil, so now that more poor people can eat.
Hey, Froger.
Hey, Wilhelmina.
Guess what day it is?
Wednesday?
Nope. Guess what day it is?
Hump day?
Hump day.
Do you know how happy landowners will be when they find out tilling gains them 15% in their produce?
About as happy as a camel on hump day.
Hump day.
Shalom. I welcome you to an intellectual conference of the understanding of the Jewish population during the age of the ghetto. Europe's Jewish population was concentrated in Poland, Lithuania, and Ukraine, where no fewer than 3 million Jews lived. About 150,000 Jews lived in Habsburg land, primarily Bohemia. Fewer than 100,000 Jews lived in Germany. France had approximately 40,000 Jews. Catherine the Great specifically excluded Jews from a manifesto that welcomed foreigners to settle in Russia. After the first partition in Poland of 1772, the Russian Empire included a large number of Jews. Jews in most of European nations did not enjoy the rights of citizen. Oftentimes, Jews were segregated in communities called ghettos, but often enjoyed a considerable degree of political authority within their own ghettos. During the 17th century, some Jewish financiers funded wars for major rulers and developed a close professional relationship with them and received the nickname court Jews. Most of the European Jews lived in poverty. Well, that concludes our time today. Tune in tomorrow at 6 o'clock for more Fox 18th Century News.
Your solution. The guillotine. Invented during the late 18th century, this will quickly and sufficiently...
We're also very self-conscious. We're brand Russian nobles. We just came about into the 18th century.
This is too perfect.
Can
you get that?
That's going in the blue.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Go. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. Okay.
I'm counting to 3.
Go.
1.
No, don't say it. Put your...
The landlords made sure that the serfs marry only those on their land. You two are getting married, by the way.
Hey!
They didn't come out.
Yeah, you...
I like went. If anything, we can only choose that one where I actually messed up.
B landowners or B1?
Keep going. Go.
Do you know how happy landowners will be when they find out? Do you know?
Okay.
Do you know?
Stop. Okay, 3.
Do you know how happy landowners?
Matt.
I don't know how to say landowners.
Okay, I'll say the green line.
Landowners.
I'll
Alright,
say the green line.
I got it.
Hey, Frederick.
Matt. Hi, I'm Jada Listman.
And I'm Andrew DeLuca.
As of recently, Kelsey.
Completely sorry.
Boom! Air 5, Air 5. No? Nice job. Okay.
For no more than... Shalom. I welcome you to an intellectual conference of the understanding of the Jewish population during the age of... Shalom. I welcome you to an intellectual conference of the understanding of the Jewish population during the age of the ghetto. Europe's Jewish population was concentrated in Poland, Lithuania, and Ukraine. Stop! Habsburg's land primarily Bohemia. Jesse.